Welcome to this video lecture series on ITIL Foundation. This is topic 2, the 4 dimensions of service management, video 2, information and technology. Welcome, friends. Always good to see you. We're continuing on with our 4 dimensions of service management, which, again, are here to ensure a holistic, integrated approach to the delivering of value. This is the second in the series, so this is on information and technology, the second dimension. This dimension addresses tools and platforms, data and databases, knowledge management, information flow, and the key idea here is technologies enable value, but information makes it usable. This dimension is very important. In fact, it is part of the whole key and heart and soul of ITIL, because ITIL is about knowledge management. Excellent service knowledge management. Services depend on accurate and accessible information. Information supports decisions, and if we don't give good information, we don't make good decisions. Without effective technology and information, incidents take longer to resolve, decisions are delayed, knowledge can be lost, and automation may very well fail. These are all very bad things. Well-managed information leads to a faster service delivery, better decision-making, and more consistent outcomes. ITIL encourages that we select tools that support our practices, not drive them. Remember, technology is a force multiplier. Technology supports our processes support human actions and decision-making. For example, service management platforms like our ticketing service system. When people call service desk, hey, ring, ring, hello, service desk, yes, my computer won't boot. That's demand, and we will track that issue with a service ticket. Monitoring and alerting. You know what's better than getting a phone call from a user? Ring, ring, service desk, can I help you? Yeah, I can't reach the email server. What's better than that is when we have some kind of a monitoring system that tells us before any customer knows that something looks like it's about to go wrong with our email service or our communications link or licenses are expiring. Automation and orchestration tools. For the repetitive things that human beings don't add a lot of value to, automating those can add value back to the human beings. Again, it's a force multiplier. And collaboration platforms. Knowledge and information needs nothing if it's not moving amongst people. So we always want to encourage that to happen within the acceptable limits of security and privacy, of course. Best practices include integrating tools wherever possible, avoiding a sprawl all over the place, a bunch of tools that are very hard to manage, and we spend more and more of our time trying to manage the tools than getting the benefits from them. Support workflows, not complexity. The goal is to enable efficiency and visibility of that information, the right information in the right format at the right time to the right person. And that's going to mean we're going to be storing data in a central location, a database. Reliable data is essential for managing services. Common sources would include our configuration management database. It's one of the major parts of ITIL. People ask me, sir, what do I need to put in place? Well, a database. A database, they say, shouldn't we first put in a service desk? Yes and no. A service desk will probably ship with some form of database. Just do a good job of checking it out to make sure that that will be easy to integrate with other modules in the future if you want to take it step by step. And step by step manages your risk. So this configuration management database, as you can see, it's shown here in 3 layers. You have at the bottom the actual physical plant where the data lives. In the middle, you have the services that are enabled by that data and enable that data to add value to the customer's life. And so at the top is the customer. So we have our asset inventory, all of our physical plant and all of our data at the bottom. That is connected to our service portfolio, the services that we offer that enables that data to reach the customer in useful ways. And of course, therefore, we have the customers and our service level agreements and our subscriptions. And these must be fully integrated and work together, and we must be able to track at any time. For example, if someone comes to me and says, sir, I just have to unplug the Ethernet cable from server port 0 and move it over to server port 9, I will say, okay, that is at the asset level. Now, you look up all the services that depend on that server port 0 Ethernet connection, and then you contact all the customers who are subscribed to that service, and you make sure that they're aware that we're about to do something, let's say tonight at midnight. If you get their agreement, go forward, because you know why? When we call the customer and we say, hello, dear customer, I'm sorry, we have some maintenance that we need to do. The risk is very low, but it's not zero. Is it okay if we impact potentially your service tonight around midnight? That's much better than for us on 3 o'clock in the afternoon to just unplug it from one place and plug it into another place. There, we're done. Ring, ring. Yeah, your customer is angry because somehow it went wrong. That's what we absolutely wish to avoid. Key considerations: data accuracy, garbage in, garbage out. Accessibility: data means nothing if we can't access it. Security and privacy: yes, while I'm encouraging you to share it, I'm also keep trying to remind you, respect security and respect privacy. Life cycle management: data lives in a life cycle. You acquire it, you use it, you maintain it, you update it, and then you retire it. We have to have a procedure for the entire life cycle. Remember, poor data means poor decisions. Knowledge management is what ITIL is all about. Knowledge turns experience into reusable value. It also turns it into wisdom. For example, your known error database. We'll study this in more detail later, but when you have an incident and you resolve it, you'd like to find out the root cause of that incident so it doesn't happen again, it doesn't recur. That's called problem management. And when we know about a problem but we haven't resolved it yet, it goes into the known error database. In other words, we know this exists, we're working on it. What you might be surprised to find out is one of the first things we want to do is develop a workaround. This often surprises people about ITIL. When people call in, ring, ring, service desk, can I help you? Yes, I can't seem to reach the email server at all. Oh, well, I'm very sorry to hear that, sir. One moment, let me check something. Yes, sir, I confirm the server is up. Let me get your details and I'll have someone work on it. In the meantime, however, are you able to reach our internal portal? You mean the website? Yeah, I'm working on it now. Very good, sir. If you look in the upper left, there will be a hamburger menu. If you click on that, it'll have the second item will be webmail. Oh, yeah, I've used that before. So, sir, can you please log into with webmail and confirm to me that that's working for you? Okay, very good. Hold on a second. Why, yes, I can. So I've had this queued up and you'll be responded to within 20 minutes, sir. But can I confirm with you for now you are able to send and receive emails? Yeah, this is okay. Yes, thank you very much. That's it. And this surprises a lot of people. The person who takes the phone call at service desk doesn't try to fix the problem. They will queue it up for someone else to do it. Because I'm going to advocate for the user. I'm going to track that problem. I'm going to put it in a queue, and I'm going to watch. If it sits in the queue too long, I'm going to call up the engineers and say, you need to work on this. When the engineer said, oh, we've resolved it, I will call the user back up and I'll say, hey, this is service desk. This is Bob. Remember me? Could you check your email client now and see if it's working normally? Why, yes, Bob. Thank you very much. It's working fine. Thank you. So are you happy for me to close this call? Yep, I think it's okay now. I only close it when the end consumer, the end user says it's okay. So the thing is, when someone calls service desk, we want to resolve the problem. That'll take a long time. We want to resolve the issue. That'll take a little time. But what I want immediately, if it's at all possible, is to get that person back to work. We want production to happen again. Troubleshooting guides, facts and self-service portals, lessons learned from incidents, all this useful knowledge that over the years we've fought hard to acquire, we want to capture that. And we want to learn our lessons from it. And we want to make our service better through it. Benefits, usually faster resolution time, reduced repeat incidents, and we empower the users and support teams to help themselves. Our objective is to get the right knowledge available at the right time to the right person in the right format. And we quite often are mindful of the DIKW model. In this model, we have data, information, knowledge, and wisdom in a continuum. We take raw data and process that into useful information. Give me an example. Sure. Sorting things. Imagine I have a file cabinet with everybody's record in it, your annual leave record in there. It's very useful for me to have that alphabetically sorted. Information gets analyzed into useful knowledge, and that useful knowledge is applied as wisdom with human judgment. In the workplace, we'll probably have some kind of a tracking system. The company deploys some kind of a service desk, a one-stop shop for everyone who has any issue whatsoever with IT. You have an issue with IT? Service desk. So we'll have an incident tracking system. It's highly likely. And what we want to make sure is that we're collecting good data. The person who answers the phone or the person who's self-serving, entering things on their keyboard, there's enough validation there to encourage and assure that we're receiving good information. We also want to be careful that when we place it in a queue, oh, thank you very much, I'm putting this in the network queue now for you, sir. If 15 minutes later the network person looks at it and says, oh no, this is a system problem, it's 15 minutes lost, 15 minutes wasted. So we want to train people and we want to have systems in place to help us. When we put it in a queue, it goes to the right person the first time, whenever possible. Our knowledge base will have workarounds and known errors in them, as we've talked about already. And it should integrate very well with other tools. Like I said, your tracking system, it may be something you start with that's got a little database in it. Now, that database might be able to migrate over to a larger database in the knowledge base, or it might remain itself, but it can still integrate. One common mistake people make is when we say our knowledge base, they imagine some big database system, a single big database system. It could very well be 20 little database systems, but very well integrated. And we'll have monitoring because, like I said, much better than a user calling us with a problem is for us to be made aware of a potential problem or issue, I should say issue, from some kind of automated monitoring system, some software. And we want to make sure that this is providing usable information for the staff such that we can get ahead of these issues. We can avoid the big impacts by acting early. The key concepts here: effective supporting tools. They're a force multiplier. Accurate and managed data. Good decisions comes from good data. Strong knowledge and sharing practices. Always keeping in mind privacy and security, of course. Remember, technology stores information, but knowledge improves services. Technology storing information will do nothing forever. If you have a letter in your mailbox that you never read, that mailbox has not helped you in any way. Now here's a discussion question. What causes more delays in incident resolution? What do you think? A lack of tools or a lack of usable knowledge? I'm sure you can guess. Usable knowledge. The tools are of no use to us if they contain no usable knowledge. Here's some tips for when you take the exam. Technology must support the service value stream. It doesn't drive it. We try, whenever possible, to adapt technology to our good practices rather than adapting our good practices to the technology. And we'll have to meet in the middle. There'll be a little bit of both, of course. Of course there will. If an exam answer suggests that buying a tool without some kind of process improvement or measurement, it's almost certainly not the correct answer. Here's another one. Information quality matters. And information quality, I'm not saying it will always be in the correct answer. I'm saying when you see it, that probably is the correct answer. See what? Well, you're looking for things that talk about managing the data or sharing the knowledge or making things available and keeping it available or vetting and validating data so that you know that it's of high quality. When you see an answer that says reliable data, that's highly likely to be the correct answer. Thank you for spending this time with us. We hope you are enjoying this video lecture series. See you soon.